Now, if you've been wanting to spice up the front end of your Suzuki RM or older RMZ, I've got the video for you. So here we have a 2008 to 2017 RMZ 450 front fender and number plate. You can see a little different styling here, a little more aggression in the front, some holes on the number plate, a little step up in the looks department. So let's get to work and I'm gonna show you how to adapt it. Obviously, first off, we're gonna remove the old number plate and fender. It's got one bolt on top of the number plate, and that's about it. And a few bolts on bottom, and off comes the fender. And here's the kit we'll be using to adapt the fender. Comes with a template for re-drilling the holes in the fender, as well as a hardware pack. First thing we're gonna do is fish out the washers, or the flange washers, in the hardware kit, and we're gonna insert them in the back holes of the fender with the flange on the bottom side, like so. Then we're going to locate the fender template as well as 2 bolts from the hardware pack and put the template on with the threaded holes on the back, and then take your bolts, thread them in from the bottom side. This is basically just going to hold the template in place so we can drill the front holes. Snug down those template bolts. Now we're going to drill through these front 2 holes. If you can see here, there's a ridge in the middle of where those holes need to be. And that's why it's so important to have a template here. That way we can get a nice, clean, straight hole right through that ridge. So we're going to take out the drill bit that comes with the kit and just simply drill right through those holes. And you're going to want to go nice and slow and straight. There we have it. We're going to pull this template back off, and we're not going to use this when mounting the fender. This is only for re-drilling the fender. Make sure you clean up any burrs left behind from drilling. Now we're ready to take this over the bike and mount it up. Just mounts up like a factory fender would. Now for the fender, it comes with the hardware kit, 4 bolts. There's 2 shorter bolts, and you're going to have the flat washers on the shorter ones. And then there's also 6 fender washers with a flange there, or a step. 2 of those washers are going to go on the longer bolts, just like that. And then the other 4 fender washers are going to go on the top side of the fender. Now the front holes can be a little tricky because the hole is kind of at an angle. It's right on the ridge. This is how it worked out with the fender design. And if these washers don't stick, you can put a little grease in there just to hold the washer in place as you install the fender. Now the easiest way to do this is going to be to get your front bolts, the longer bolts with that stepped washer, set up on an extension, get your fender into place, then go from the bottom side and line up a front hole. We're just gonna kind of hand tighten it for now. Grab your other side front bolt. Get that started as well. The main thing here is you just want to get all the bolts started before you tighten any of them up. Looks like that lined up perfectly. Now you're gonna want to tighten the front bolts first. Snug those down, and then hit the back bolts. Now the reason why we went with these really thin head bolts is because these 2 front bolts are kind of sticking down, and if you used a thicker head bolt, like a regular 8mm head bolt, it would actually contact the tire when the suspension compresses all the way. So we went with a little thinner head bolt to give some clearance there. And there we have it. Fender is nice and snug on there. Feels just as tight as OEM. Now it's time for the number plate. Slide it behind the brake line. Line it up with these 2 tabs on the bottom. There we go. And nice thing about the 08 to 17 style, it just bolts right up to your stock triple clamp. No need for any brackets. Then we also supplied a washer and bolt with this kit for the number plate. And That's all you gotta do. Now we also supply these fork protectors in the kit as well, and these go around the fork to protect it from wear. In the event that you're using a Cycra stadium plate, the stadium plate utilizes these pieces that go down around the fork, and they zip tie to the fork, and over time these can actually wear into the anodizing or whatever coating you're gonna have on your fork. So that is why we provided these two guards. Now these are clear vinyl. You just peel it back and wrap it around the fork right where the plate is in contact, just like that. And you're gonna keep your fork tube looking beautiful. So that is how you update the front end to a 08 to 17 RMZ style. Looks really good on there, really fits the rest of the style of these bikes. And if you want to go even newer to the 2018 and newer style, we have a kit for that as well. Right here is the 2018 and up style. This has the Cycra stadium plate. You can see the difference here, has a little bit sharper lines, a little more aggressive styling, you know, with the holes in the number plate and the tip of the fender. It's really hard to pick between the two. They both look good. Really just boils down to your personal preference, but whatever one you like, we have the kit available for you, whether you have an RM125, RM250, RMZ250, or 450, got it all covered. If you like to check these kits out, hit the link down below in the description.